Hi, Taurus. This is your October 16th to your October 31st reading. I've already pre-shuffled your cards and laid them out for you. Okay, Taurus, you got some pretty interesting messages for these next 2 weeks. All right, so I would really listen to the guidance of the cards. It looks like for some of my Taurus, um, there's a path that you've chosen or that you've been trying to decide to take. Okay, you have Two of Fire. And Two of Fire talks about you've come into your own, new partnerships or contracts, and to continue to move forward. Okay, and this was triggered by some type of life experience for you, something that happened in your life, probably I would say for the last year or maybe to 2 years. Okay, but it was something that was pretty significant that kind of shook your life up. Maybe you had a lot of losses, illnesses, loss of finances, career, something along those lines. And it pushed you into a new path. Okay. But I feel like you are not mentally clear about this path because you have Five of Swords here as well, which talks about mental conflict. Sometimes this could be with others. So this could be other people making you feel this way, where you feel defeated or shamed or embarrassed, something along those lines. But I feel like for a lot of my Tauruses, this has to do with your own mental conflict. With choosing this path. I feel like you're unsure of it or if it's the right path for you. Okay. So if you are trying to decide, is this the right path, that I make the right decision? The cards are suggesting that you move forward, that you are on the right path. And you have other cards in your readings as well. Two things I'm going to point out to you right off the bat is that remember that this path was triggered by a life experience, something significant that happened to you in your life. Okay, it was a powerful revelation that led to change, and what Spirit is saying is that it's time for you to get clear on this and to move forward with this path. Okay, with the Wheel of Fortune here, it tells me that this path is the path that is destined for you. Okay, it leads to good fortune and things like that. Everything that you want, abundance, prosperity, happiness, joy, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest into your life, that this is the path. And remember, what also brought you into this path, Taurus, is you have the underlying energy of the Eight of Cups, which is a very spiritual card. Okay, it talks about a search for more meaning in your life, more fulfillment, more emotional fulfillment. Just, I feel like fulfillment on every level. So there was an area that you weren't fulfilled in, and I feel like you stayed in it for a very, very long time. And then I think the universe came in and it took it all away from you. It was like the Tower card almost. It took it all away from you. That is the life experience that you experienced, but that happened for a reason. It knew that you were unfulfilled. The universe knew that your desires weren't being fulfilled, and that it really probably wasn't the path for you, even though it was hard for you to see. So it came in and it kind of shook everything up and took everything away from you in hopes that you would search for more meaning in your life. That's the life experience card right there. Okay, it's very something that's very significant. And with doing that, you selected another path to go down. And I feel like for many of you, the mental, I feel like it's mental and emotional conflict that you're having within yourself. Because remember, our minds, our mental aspects control our emotional aspects. So if we're not balancing them, it makes it hard for us to move forward. But I feel like this path also leads to self-discovery of who you really are. Okay, not the conditioning of you, of how you grew up with society and what you should do and what you should be and how you achieve this and how you attain that by going to work and doing this. So I feel like for some of you guys, this has been a spiritual journey, a spiritual awakening for you. And that could be very emotional, and it could be very mentally confusing as well in doing so. And I say mental and emotional, like I said, I feel like some of you are looking back and you're asking yourself, because you're just not mentally clear if this is the path for you. Should I go back to the other path I was on and do what I was doing? And this is in regards to some type of work you're doing. Okay. So I feel like for some of you, you it's probably you doing some type of spiritual work or spiritual based practice or something like that, because with the Eight of Cups here, it really talks about a spiritual journey, and growing spiritually and emotionally along this path, in which I feel like many people are lacking in their lives, and then they wonder why they're not emotionally fulfilled, because we have to grow, we have to evolve, and we have to grow as souls. And if we don't sometimes take the correct path for us, we don't, and our soul knows that we're very unhappy, and we're very unfulfilled, and we're very sad in our life. And when we feel that way, and we don't know how to go about making the changes or what to do, the universe does step in, and everything it takes from you, or everything that it's showing you that you don't like, it's a way of helping you. It's reflecting to you, and it's trying to show you the changes that you need to make. Because underneath this, you have King of Air, which talks about speak your mind with confidence, seek out professional advice, balance mental and emotional considerations. And then you have the Justice card as well, which is about balance. Okay, so in order to move forward on this path of clarity, because you have the Magician in your reading as well, so it's very important that you get this down. I feel like you're being urged to move forward on this path, but I feel like some of my Taurus, you're stagnant and you're confused, okay, and you're feeling very mentally and emotionally weighed down by this, and it's making it very hard for you to manifest what you want. And I know Taurus has had a long year, and you've been working very hard. And I feel like with Jupiter that just went into Scorpio, or it's going into Scorpio today on the 10th, I feel like all your hard work is going to pay off. And I feel like the cards are really trying to tell you not to give up, and to keep moving forward, that you are destined for this path that you're on, and it leads to way more than you could ever imagine. Justice is about balancing as well, so that's why I say it's about balancing your mental and your emotional considerations. She's also about, too, looking back in your life, and I would say probably the last year, looking back at all the life lessons that you've learned through the year, learning with them and moving forward as well. Okay, so you pulled Four of Air. It says time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. Okay, so some of you, like I said, a lot of my Taurus, you've been working very hard, because that's what we do. We work hard. We're determined. We persevere. We're so resilient that sometimes it's sickening. Okay, we're just like relentless when we want something and we go after it. However, when we're not clear, when we got mixed emotions, we go back and forth. And I feel like some of you guys are doing that mentally. You're going back and forth mentally in your mind about this new direction that you've gone in. And because of that, the mental back and forth, the emotions are up and down, up and down. So you're not completely committed and aligned with that path with passion to move forward. You have to line up with your passion and become in alignment with that energy, so that whatever you're trying to manifest will manifest from you. So when I saw this card, I pulled a clarifier on it, okay? And I pulled the Four of Swords again. So really, 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 really important. Take some time to rest. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're just feeling worn out, okay? And I know that because I asked for another clarifier, because I pulled the Four of Swords on top of the Four of Air, and you're feeling very oppressed and very weighed down right now. You're exhausted, and many of you are just not clear on which way to go, what decision to make, okay? And this has to do into some type of work you're doing, okay? I pulled another clarifier. I was asking the cards, what is it that you're trying to make a decision on, and to help Taurus make a decision. So this has to do with some type of work that you've been working on really, really, really hard, okay? So definitely take a break. If you're not sure what path, like I said, I'm giving you guidance about what the cards are telling me, and telling you to remember why you started this new path, how it came about for you. I'm helping you to remember the life experience that caused it, and I'm trying to let you know what's going on or why you're back and forth, okay? So take that into consideration while you're taking a break from this. If I feel like you have competing goals, you have Five of Fire. So some of you, you're going to have competing goals if you're not clear. So some of you, like I said, it's a back and forth thing. Some of you guys have a job or a career that you feel like, okay, yeah, I can go forward in this area too. But then some of you guys, I feel like, are trying to start something of your own, something you really want that brings in financial freedom and security and, improves your happy home life and stuff. So you have competing goals on how you're going about doing that. That is what you're not clear on, okay? And the work is probably very similar. Like for myself, being in corporate world as a counselor and a therapist for so many years, working with people, and then doing the tarot, it was kind of still the same thing, giving guidance and insight and inspiring people to make the changes that they need. But it was very different at the same time. Had never done tarot before. So you do go back and forth and it is unclear, and that's what causes the competing goals. Some of you guys this week or in the next 2 weeks, you could be having some conflict with others. Somebody might be telling you something or saying something to you that you just don't like, because you have Page of Air under here, and it says challenging information, delays or changes to plans, truth delivered without tact. Okay? So there might be some information that comes through for you, and it makes you question things, and you get the Ten of Swords energy, okay? Which is just a lot of mental thoughts and process that happens, but however, this is negative thoughts and process. With that being said, though, I feel like for this reading, with this Page of Air that's coming in, because I have your advice card at the bottom of here with clarifiers as well, I feel like this information that comes through for you in the next 2 weeks ends this Ten of Swords energy. Okay? So like I said, I would really make sure you're doing some meditation and really considering everything on how you feel before you make a decision. Because you have the Hermit, which suggests spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. Because this card is under your life experience and your Wheel of Fortune. That's why I feel like this path is destined for you. I feel like it helps you grow, and it does emotionally fulfill you. And it helps you discover who you really are. I feel like it's going to help you discover some hidden talents and abilities that you have that you never knew that you had. And it's going to align you with who you are. And you want to align with who you are, because that is when your energy flows so naturally and so beautiful with the universe. And that is what comes back to you through the universe. Okay. But you have the Hermit telling you to meditate as well. Get some clarity on this. Okay. So that you can get clear. And once the mental aspect of you gets clear, then the brain just goes to work and it focuses, and then the emotions are in balance. Okay? Now everything is balanced, and now you can feel good about doing this. And when you can do that, then you got the Magician. It says you are ready, you have the resources or the ability to manifest them. Life is magical. The key is, Taurus, though, to align with the energy, with your passion. You have to be in alignment. And you can't do that if you're mentally and emotionally swaying back and forth. Okay? So I feel like there's some goals that don't serve you anymore, but they're more of a comfort zone for you. And it can be with finances. You might be asking yourself, well, how do I let this go, or how do I let this job go when I have to financially support myself? This is when you need to learn manifestation and law of attraction, okay? Because you can't do it from the Ten of Swords energy. This negative thinking has to go, and you have to begin to think positive about this direction that you're going in. The thoughts and energy that you put out have to be positive in order for that to manifest. And what Spirit is saying is that you're ready. This is the time for you. But before you go and do this, because I feel like in your heart you want to do this, and I feel like you keep going back and forth to it, and you're contemplating back and forth, what do I do? And it's what it's doing is it's putting your emotions off whack. And if you're emotionally not to par, our emotions will control our actions. Okay, so if you're emotionally not there, the chance of you taking action on this, or in this new direction, or doing this work on this new path, it's not going to be consistent. It's not going to be consistent, and if you're not consistent with that, then you're not going to manifest it. I can tell you that through experience. Okay, consistency is huge when you're manifesting. But the Magician is saying, you know what you want for the most part. Okay. And you're starting to take those steps and those actions towards it. I feel like some of my Taurians, you've already done this because the life experience and the two of fire is already in the past position card. And it's saying you can do this, but you can't do it from the Ten of Swords energy either. Okay? So you have to change the negative thinking to positive. Expect the outcome to be positive, and it will be positive. I pulled the Eight of Wands on the Magician. So this talks about movement, taking action and taking movement. And this also talks about things moving forward fast. Okay? So I feel like one of your main messages for the reading is to get clear on what you want. Decide what you want. Make that decision. You may have to go in, do some meditation, get very clear on it. But like I said, I feel like your cards in the reading, they're telling you that remember why you took this path already, why you felt pushed onto it. You do already feel that this path is destined for you. It's just hard for you to comprehend at times, probably because it's very new and it's very different work that you're going to do. When I pulled your advice card, you pulled Eight of Water again, okay? So remember, you were emotionally fulfilled where you were at before, whether that was a job or a career. It didn't give you that meaning you were looking for in life. You had been unfulfilled for a long time, and that is why that life experience happened for you, where it just shook everything up for you. Remember that. So I asked for a clarifier on your advice card, okay? And I pulled the Moon, all right? What I feel like it's telling me with the Eight of Water is that your emotions are communicating to you. To use your intuition. This talks about psychic abilities. So some of you may be doing some type of spiritual work, or you started a spiritually based practice where you're using psychic abilities, or you're doing tarot card readings, and it's very new to you. Very new. So that's why it's hard for you to just stay consistent with it, and you're back and forth. But the Moon deals with our emotions a lot, okay? It sheds light on us, on what is serving us and what is not serving us. So where you were at before, you weren't emotionally fulfilled, and you felt those emotions, okay? Feeling those emotions lets you use your intuition. So your intuition says, okay, I'm not happy, I'm unfulfilled emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, whatever it was for you, okay? That is what the Moon card does. It heightens your psychic abilities. It lets you feel your emotions, which are communicating to you the direction you need to go in. Okay, so that's why you have the Hermit and you have Four Air telling you to meditate. Okay, they're your guidance system. Think about each path if that helps you. And when you think about each one, or whatever the goals are for you, whatever it is for you, think about it and pay attention to how you feel. If you feel happy and excited about it and you feel like, yes, this is it, then that's your path for you. If you feel hesitant, doubt, fears, anxieties, worries, uncertainty, then that's your indication that you're not sure about that path and you should probably stay away from it. That is how it communicates to you. So I pulled another card on the Eight of Water for a clarifier, and you have Ace of Swords, and I pulled one more, and you had Four of Pentacles. Okay, so when you're listening to your emotions, okay, which, like I said, that's your intuition too. Listen to your intuition. Intuition could be constant ideals or thoughts or promptings or a little voice in you that keeps playing over and over and over for you to go in this direction, go in this direction, do this, do this. It kind of doesn't go away. It nags you. It's your intuition. It brings clarity for you, okay? And I feel like clarity is coming in this month for some of you guys, all right? And remember what I said, it's part of your guidance card. So I'm going to tell you, keep thoughts about this new path optimistic and positive. That is what will happen. But you've got to keep it positive and optimistic. You've got to put those energies out. And it helps you build that secure, solid foundation. That's what you want, Taurus. You want that secure, solid foundation in your finances. Okay? And you're trying to figure out, how do I do that through the work that I do? Because the work I was doing before was just burning me out, or I wasn't really fulfilled, or I just felt like I couldn't be myself in that job or that position. I need something more where I can express myself, because you have King of Air telling you, speak your mind with confidence. And this new path allows you to do that for you. Okay, Taurus. That's really all the messages that I have for you from this reading. I know that was a lot, but really just to narrow it down, it's really about you really doing some self-reflection on what you want to create and move forward in your life. Because I feel like this is the time for you to do it with the Magician here in the Eight of Wands. So what you put your energy and your attention to, that is what's going to move forward for you, okay? And I think clarity is going to come about for you sooner than later with this, and it ends this 10 of Wands energy. So my guidance to you would be take some time out, meditate, okay? Do some spiritual teachings, read some books, something, a spiritual advisor or someone to help you navigate, something you can use in your life if you're reading books that will help you along this, because I feel like it's a spiritual journey for many of you guys, and for most of you it's a spiritual awakening that started a long time ago, and you're at this point and you're still mentally and emotionally just swaying back and forth. Okay, so really ground yourself if the mental and emotions are up and down, especially with Jupiter going into Scorpio. There's going to be a lot of things that unfold for you this year. So you want to make sure you're taking the necessary steps and actions in creating what you want, but make sure it's what you want, what you're passionate about. Make sure you're coming from the heart center with that. If you had questions about the path you were going down, do know you were pushed on that path because it is part of your destiny and it leads to self-discovery for you. And it brings you that emotional and spiritual growth that you were probably missing before. No matter what you do at this time, Taurus, though, no matter how big or small the steps are, keep making steps. Keep taking action, okay? Because that's when the universe can work in your favor. Okay, Taurus, that's your reading for the last 2 weeks of October. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I always love hearing your feedback from the readings. All my contact information is in the box below. And I will see you guys for your November readings.